help women find independence by training them in fish farming. It's tough on my back, joints, and can cause headaches. Panadol Extra relieves multiple types of pain.
If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
To help fight the spread of coronavirus, learn Lifebuoy's hand washing habits. Wash hands with soap or use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Together, let's help fight the spread of coronavirus in Kenya.
Usingoje hadi dakika ya mwisho. Pimwa kwenye hospitali ya serikali. Matibabu inapatikana bila malipo. TB inakinga na tiba.
Nyaje wa Kenya. Hii ni public service announcement kuhusu coronavirus.
The Ministry of Health advises all returnees from abroad to self-quarantine for at least 14 days, whether they feel well or unwell.
Wash your hands regularly following the 8 steps of hand washing. Wet hands with warm water. Apply a small amount of soap. Rub palms together. Rub fingers and thumbs and the beads in between. Rub nails on palms. Rub the back of each hand. Rinse with clean running water and dry thoroughly with a clean dry towel.
Furthermore, it is advisable to cover your mouth and nose adequately when sneezing or coughing and immediately dispose of the tissue in a dustbin. Please do not use handkerchiefs if you can avoid it. If disposable tissue is unavailable, cough into your elbow. Try and avoid close contact with anyone showing signs of respiratory illness, such as coughing or sneezing.
Before you share any coronavirus information on social media, please verify it with Ministry of Health to avoid panic and alarm among your fellow Kenyans.
Medical pay bills zero rated. Pay bill transaction fees removed at all national and county hospitals and clinics. Safaricom is for you.
Usionyesha furaha kidogo.
Yaani mamangu yuko ICU alafu atakanionyesha furaha.
Kazi umepata.
Yaani uoshevyo? Hujapata kazi.
Na bila atafanya kazi yote ile anayoitaka.
Dalili ya kuonyesha utakunikalia sima wewe.
Sio vizuri sana, lakini tunajaribu kadri ya uwezo wetu wote.
Umetoka kwenda kuona mwanamke, si ndio?
Ilikuwa ni dharura.
This is NTV.
Welcome to my home, which is where I'll be doing the show from for hopefully not that long as we all try to get our lives back to normal. It is a good Friday and I hope you're feeling good. I am feeling great. Too many stories trended this week. I cannot wait to get into them. My name is Amina Abdurrabba. You are watching us on NTV. We hope you've been keeping you entertained as you are home. We have been keeping you informed and educated on everything relating, of course, to the pandemic that we are currently going through. But of course, in and around this country, other things have taken place. Some of them funny, some of them not so funny. Let's talk about the stories that trended this week.
2 days ago, there were young people who wanted to beat the curfew to go to a party, and guess what they got to go for the party with? An ambulance. That's how bad it
now,
gets.
How desperate would you be to get to a party? Would you want to use an ambulance maybe to get there during a tough time like this? I don't know. Now, I honestly find him entertaining and hilarious. M7, soon to be gym instructor? I don't know.
Take kwenye chupa za vieuzi katika kile kinasemekana ni njia ya kujitafutia umaarufu kutokana na janga.
Now in Nyeri, I think people are doing things a little bit differently. We're going to be talking about them and their sanitizers in just a bit. Now, after the lockdown, hours after the lockdown, a number of Kenyans were seen trying to sneak back into the city, disobeying the orders. But why? Let's talk about it. All right, so now let's get to find out who's going to be hanging out with me tonight. It is Anita Nderu and her first bay on this show, Butita. Hi, guys.
Hey,
how y'all doing? I'm good. How are you, Anita?
Niko sawa too. I've missed you. This social distancing is really making our friendship very difficult.
We have to social distance. Are you social distancing with anyone, Butita, and everyone?
I've not seen Butita in almost a month. But I feel like he's using this as an excuse. This is no longer just social distancing. He's just intentionally taking a break from me, but it's cool.
No, everything is
right,
fine
so
on
I
my
can't
end
hear Anita
at
quite
my current
clearly,
mansion.
but Butita, do I have you?
Distancing here,
Hi, how are you doing?
In a good way. I've not been having visitors of late. Been doing teleconferencing. It's about working online, working at home. The new challenges.
Unfortunately, I can't seem to get any one of them, which is also a technicality that can take place when you're doing a live show and you are hoping or rather praying that the internet will be stable enough. All right, so as we go on, we hope that we will find them, we'll get them rather to hear their opinions about the stories that have been trending, starting with something that absolutely shocked me. Now, when I saw it first, I was very, very, very angry. Now, Africans who are residents in China are being forced out of their homes, hotels, because of claims that they are the ones who brought coronavirus into China. Now, the discrimination is being brought into effect by using government force to eject the Africans from their homes. Now, some of them, of course, being Kenyans, reached out to the trend and asked us, what can we do? How can we help them? We need to, talk about this story. However, when I did go online and I did a bit of research, there was also a story countering that, saying that it's just those who don't have official documents. So I wasn't sure what to believe. But I want to hear what you guys have got to say about this. Anita, did you see this story?
Yes, I saw the story and I found it very alarming and very unpleasant for one reason, and mine was the world has been very accommodative of the fact that part of the origin of this virus seems to have been in China, and we've been very accommodative. Everyone in the world has been affected by it, and everyone is in one way or another affected by it. So then I feel like in this situation where everyone is going through one thing or another, I don't even see how anyone has room for racism of any kind or discrimination of any kind.
Yeah.
Like at this point, all you need to do is come together and try and we just need to beat this. That is the primary purpose of life right now. So life can go back to normalcy. But then the fact that there's people who out there who are still doing such things, I'm just like, listen, we are all suffering because of you guys. The least you can do is try and be the most accommodative country on earth right now.
Yeah. Now, did you see the hashtag trending today? China must explain. I don't know if you've done, enough research, right, on the places that have become, that have been hit the most. We're talking about Italy and now the United States. The numbers are shocking. The number of, the death toll just keeps rising every single day. New York being one of the places that was hit really, really badly. But then now life is back to normal in Wuhan. I think 2 days ago, we lifted the lockdown. People are now sort of like trying to get back to normalcy or trying to get a semblance of normality while they're at it. I don't know if you saw that, but does that surprise you as well? And I don't know if I have Butita now, but Butita, you can take that.
You have me now.
Nakusikia vizuri. I don't have you. I don't want to have you, Butita, but I can hear you.
Okay, you can have me. Sasa mimi niliona hiyo kitu ya Waafrika kufukuzwa kwa nini za hizo places. Nikajambia si ati ndio nikajambia the fact is that currently the situation that you are going through globally ina need not to discriminate watu, not only in China but in different parts of the world. Unapata hata sisi hapa like 2 months ago, a month ago, kuna case Kibera watu walikimbiza wa Chinese tueni corona hapa, mnakumbuka? So unaona unaona you feeling vile ni mbaya, the same way we are feeling the same way they are feeling. Na ni mistake kwa country mob, watu wana discriminate for now kuhusu hii ugonjwa ati yeye umetuletea ugonjwa nini. I think ni kitu, it's another form of racism yenye imekaa na COVID-19, which should be stopped actually everywhere.
Wow, Manze, because you're right. Even just we don't want to get we don't want to experience any xenophobia, not us, you know, making anyone else feel discriminated or us being in that position as well where we're the ones who are being made to feel uncomfortable. And I was really worried when I started seeing those hashtags. It almost seems as if it's going to be China versus the world, you know. So let's just hope we don't get to that space. Now, as we move on to the next story, see now, Kenyans, we've decided to misuse those lyrics of Sauti Sol, Soul Generation, Extravaganza, Serikali ikifunika mali, ni wanasema nini, wanafunua mahali government inafunika, or something like that. Now, hours after the president declared the lockdown, right, the cessation, which is a new word now, of movement in and out of Nairobi, Kilifi, Kwale counties for 21 days, some Kenyans have found a way to, I don't know, just find themselves in the city. Like the roadblocks that they see are just decoration. Ya kufanya tu barabara ikaipoa. Butita ulionea story. Ulionea video ilikuwa viral.
Hizo ma roadblock.
Hapana, zile wasewa, that one. The video is on your screen right now.
Wakenya tunakuanga nilikuambia last time tuko na kaspirit ka kuvunja rules. Kitu mnaambia usifanye ndio mnataka kudu. Unaona kama hizo za roadblock vile gavana ilisema kuna kwa Nairobi na kuingia Nairobi. Unapata kuingia Nairobi imekuwa na entrance fee na imekuwa na alternative entry. So unashindwa, kwani sisi unaangani kama tunaifanya for someone ama tunaifanya for ourselves wengine, because if you look at it in depth, it's about yourself, unaona, ni wewe unaprotectiwa.
Yeah. All right, well, Anita, what do you think?
I feel like all I'm doing is constantly just defending the fact that I feel that even when you, as I understand why they've taken these measures, and it's a good thing that we're taking this illness very seriously. However, some of these people, if they do stay home, how are they going to put food on the table? How are they I get it, they don't have to come into the city. We're trying to lock down and we're trying to make sure that the disease does not spread to other parts of the country. But then what are these people supposed to do? There needs to be some sort of measure taken. All this money that's always being stolen, surely. There has to be a way that the government can cushion their citizens so that by the time you're telling someone, don't come into the city and don't leave the city and stay at home, you cannot go to work and work from home. However, you may have a job that does not require you. There's no way on earth you're going to work from home and still make money. Maybe they should now start working on how they're going to help these people get money.
Actually,
and how they're going to get food and how they're going to, take care of their children and how they're going to protect their families. And then maybe then, at least if those measures are in place, they would be less likely to be using panya routes to sneak back into the city to get some money.
Amina.
That is very true. You do raise some valid points. The
only place neza tetea watu in the short notice at the same day. But if after that day we can still see these cases zina happen, watu wanapitia places zingine kupita, yes, inaweza kuwa about venye uta get food na nini, but again bado zile risks zinalenga watu, unaona wame crowd pamoja nini, sasa unaona bado at some point inaenda kuwa more risky than hata ile kitu yenye unatafuta, unaona.
No, yeah, but I get it. But you know, some people sometimes are actually willing to risk their lives to just have a life in the first place. How many times have we seen such stories in this country?
Kuna mse hata Kariobangi.
No, it's true. I agree with both of you. Yeah. All right. Well, I know that you also do have your views at home, and a quick shout out, by the way, to so many Kenyans who've come out as usual at a time like this, and they're helping families who are in need. There's so many companies, so many corporates, so many successful, wealthy people who've donated their own money. You know, they've donated masks and sanitizers. You know, when we talk about the social distancing, it makes sense maybe if you do have some food in the house, but if you have kids staring at you and you live hand to mouth and you need to leave the house today to make money, it's a very different story. So if you have something that you can help, you know, your neighbor with, saidia, alafu sasa mwambie abaki nyumbani, you know. We'll get back, we'll talk some more. At The Trend Live is our Twitter handle, #TTTT. 100 million artists. We're going to be chatting about that after the break. We're going to be back. Don't go anywhere.
Ukishawa na sawa. Inakawia bana, inakawia Shawa ni sawa. Wazi yangu iko sawa, ninanukia vifiti. Rangi ya kupendeza bei, iko poa ching ching ching. Shawa ni sawa. Usisle kibana wetu mia sawa, ushinde sawa all day.
Sour Shower has never been better with the new look Sour. Now with a new formulation too that will leave you feeling fresh for longer, while the soap lasts even longer.
All day, we expect our mouth to do all kinds of things. That is why it needs all-round protection. New Oral-B Pro Health Toothpaste. Its advanced technology helps prevent both tooth holes and gum problems that can lead to tooth loss. It strengthens your teeth, giving them all-round protection. Because your mouth is doing more than you think. New Oral-B Pro Health. All-round protection for your whole mouth.
Discovered the world-famous Molfix and saw the difference. Let's see how absorbent Molfix is. Molfix, thanks to its ultra-absorbent particles, can keep more liquid than the other diaper brand, so you can use it comfortably all day long. All babies deserve a high-quality diaper. You should also try Molfix.
Selena!
Toto, where's mommy?
Today's a toilet day.
What? Oh.
Selena!
Toilet day?
Tomorrow we're hosting a party and it's a matter of my reputation.
It's a toilet, not a white shirt. Even if you spend your entire day cleaning with bleach and detergent, it still won't be party ready.
Impossible.
Challenge. Harpic 10X. Even if you use bleach and detergent 10 times, they won't give you the same sparkling clean toilet that Harpic 10X will give you.
Wow!
Harpic 10X. Harpic, Kenya's #1 toilet cleaner.
Disinfect and protect your home with Jik. Jik kills 99.9% of illness-causing germs. Disinfect floors, kitchen and bathroom surfaces, and wash white clothes, towels, and dishcloths with Jik bleach. Just Jik it.
This is Mo Spice. Entertainment. Let's talk. More music.
Hey yo, wagwan my jam down family mazee. I miss you so much. Hope you're keeping safe. Hope you're sanitizing mazee. Nikona good news. This coming Saturday will be live from Facebook and Instagram. And of course, your favorite TV, NTV, reggae, roots and dancehall music alongside my co-host Miss Katiwa herself.
We'll be giving you a great show, a double threat show, a triple threat show, everything that you, man, kitu yote yenye unaweza imagine. The only thing that you need to do is stay tuned and make sure you follow our pages
from 10 p.m. up until midnight.
Peace out.
Experience the convenience of owning your property at the comfort of your phone. Download My Optiven app on Google Play Store or App Store. Call 0740 400 400. Optiven, the pace setters in real estate. Simple and convenient.
Toby. Stop moving. Back there.
Welcome back to. What are you doing? Go back there, Daddy. I'm not joking with you. Welcome back to the show. I swear, this working from home thing. It's good, but then also it's a lot of work. It's the first time I've never had to balance between motherhood and working, which is fantastic. But then also, if you have a child who just... Anyway, hashtag TTTT at the Trend Live is our social media handle. So please do get us on that as you send in your opinions about every story that we have talked about. As you talk about the next one now, President Uhuru Kenyatta on Monday lifted the Kenyan entertainment spirits very high with a directive to the Ministry of Sports, Culture and Heritage to set aside 100 million so that, artists can be cushioned because entertainment, entertainment right now is at complete stop. I mean, there are no events that are taking place, meaning there are no MCs who are working, meaning that there's no one setting up the sound, meaning there's no one, catering for the food. So there's a lot of different things that, this is a very big problem right now. So what do you guys think? Butita, as an entertainer yourself, as a comedian, I know it's been a bit tough for you, but what are your thoughts on the 100 million?
How tough? Yes, it has been tough. Wacha tu ni accept. Mimi nakula kwanza pande ya comedy na muziki. Si unajua nakwaga na muziki. So nakula pande zote.
That one song of yours that flopped like that, Butita.
It didn't flop. See, we watched it and now only like you subscribe.
Can we discuss what you received from MC? Was it MCSK?
Okay, it was 18 bob, but it is money. It was 18 bob, but it is money. You see what I was saying, Amina? Niliona kwa mtandao. Niliona kwa mtandao. Ni kama sikuoni poa.
Mimi nakuona poa.
Niliona kwa internet wase wana nini, wase wanazusha wasanii wasipewe pesa. Nikasema that's not human. Like we are people like any other. We are suffering just like many industries are suffering because events were cancelled and huko tunatoaga msosi. Sasa it was just a good opportunity.
Okay, so let me ask you this, Butita. Yes, it is true. There's so many people who I understand are facing eviction because they cannot, pay their rent. People are also struggling to put food on their table, and these are specific to entertainers. But do you understand the argument of the medical practitioner saying that maybe this money could be directed to something else that would, that's needed right now? That's how they felt. Do you see that? Do you see any valid argument there?
Okay. Amina. Kugete hebu kidogo.
All right, so Butita. Okay, great. So as Butita sorts himself out, Anita.
Yes.
I mean,
first of all, I want to know whether I fall under that category.
And stuff.
I am very curious because am I an actress, an entertainer? Because we know I'm not a musician. Lord knows that can't save me in any way. But this is my take, and I know I'm going to get flack for this. I think the most essential place where money should be going to right now is our healthcare. Because realistically speaking, if this blows out of proportion, our hospitals will be overrun, and I know we will not have enough equipment, and we cannot consistently keep hoping and wishing for donors and hoping that somebody else is going to come and save us, right? However, I do think after healthcare, like I said before, the government needs to figure out how everyone who has been affected by the coronavirus and is being forced to stay at home and they make money leaving their homes on a daily basis, how they're going to survive. Even the bare minimum, even if it's not that, if they're going to speak to landlords, to KPLC, to the water, you can imagine you've paid your rent and then they cut out your steamer and water and then you're stuck at home. Just as in, I feel like they need to sit down and have an entire strategy of how the country is going to survive for the next 2 months, worst case scenario 3 months, and then now, but that way nobody feels like, so you want guys to stay at home and be entertained while we are on the front line taking care of all these people and we don't have equipment, and or you have other people having to sneak into the city to make money because they're service staff. I mean, I feel like there needs to be a completely different plan as to where money should be allocated. In terms of importance and necessity.
Yes. All right. Now, Butita, I feel like this literally falls... Your docket, if I could say.
In January, President alichange system ya kucollect royalties countrywide. Vile hii kitu imekuwa inafanywa, ikakuwa gava itakuwa inachukuanga pesa sasa alafu zinakuwa reimbursed kwa artists. Currently, watu wanalipianga. Hizi pesa mnaona wasanii wanapewa, ni zingine ni royalty tu zao. Hizi ndo zimekuwa zinakolektiwa huku kwa places, muziki zilikuwa zinachezwa wapi. Na alisema vizuri, ukiangalia hiyo document vizuri inasema sasa hii wamemanage kila month wana collect watakuwa wanapatiana 200 million kwenda kwa art kulingana na zile ndo zimekolektiwa huko nje. Alafu ndio an extra
from the TV
100
and the radio
million because of what has been happening. So tusiangaliange tu ati once pesa ishapatiwa tushapiga kelele. Sengine tuangaliange pia hizo yes, do health iko. Sasa hii tunafaa kuallocate do health na ni kitu priority. Si ati sio priority. but haimaanishi ati hakuna pesa ingine. Kila sekta, hizo sekta zote zinaumia, pesa yake inaweza patikana. Hiyo
But
ndio
that's
kitu
what I've said, Butita. I've said they just need to make sure every single sector is
But
taken
it's not-
care of.
It's not like ati wasanii wakikubaliwa
Yes.
100M wana sabotage the health industry. No, it's not like that. Ni sawa.
Butita. Don't
Just
sabotage.
hii pesa,
Anyway, okay, great. Well, yes.
Hii pesa hata naitetea hivyo na tuko wasanii 2 million. Tuko wasanii 2 million. Najua ndapata 50 bob yangu, but ni sawa.
Okay, fine. All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, now listen. Now this is so funny. Have you watched Money Heist? First of all, right now during this whole quarantine period, I bet we have caught up on a lot of films, movies,
we did for
series,
Nairobi.
nini. You need to watch Money Heist because Kenyans have more brains than the professor. Okay. Now imagine this: you want to get to a party. There's a lockdown. This lockdown is because we need to save your life and the lives of others. But no. We need to get to this party. My life depends on this party. First of all, literally, so that you don't go. But it's okay. You just decide to use an ambulance as a getaway car to this party. Anita, did you see this story? It was, unajua hii life ya YOLO. Since I think ni Milani imefungwa.
Ambulance.
What? Na ambulance.
Kesho niamuke na mababulance. Taka nilewe nite ambulance. Unajua sasa pia walikuwa roju sana. Sasa walikuwa na nimekuwa naona hata mali neighbor yangu niliona kuna wase waliamua tu kuweka bash at a time like this. Nikajiuliza watu wana manageaje kumove usiku? Wase kaeni home manze. Sasa ikishafika hapo kwa ambulance sasa na inakaa last week kuna mzee alikuwa ameiba ambulance. Ameiba ambulance Eldoret, mnakumbuka? Ilikuwa Eldoret hapo wapi? So inakaa ni problem. Inakaa ni problem tunasuffer za country.
Labda alianzisha service ya Kahaya, so like watu wanachukua hizo ambulance wakidisturb. I don't know why they would do that. It's ridiculous. But there is such a thing. I don't know if any one of you have done this yet, but there's such a thing as quarantine shaming, where you have to, because your life as well is, in danger, and your children and your family, so you have to, when people are throwing parties, even me, my neighbor, there was a time, but it was just when it started, decided to have a few people together, and I remember feeling, guy, those are many people, but it was just at the beginning, right? So we were not as panicked as we are now. So I think you should report these people. Chris Kirwa was talking about this earlier on his page, saying that people are just doing parties. This weekend, there's so many parties that are being organized. Just make sure that you order from EABL. We'll talk about it more at 10 p.m. However, stay at home. Anita, are there parties that are happening in your area?
There's parties happening in my area. There's parties I've been invited for in my area. There's parties I've been invited for elsewhere. But to get me out of this household, I don't know what it is. Like literally, unless I'm going to the grocery store or when I'm making hospital runs, I have absolutely no other reason I would ever say yes to leaving this household. But then again, I'm a very paranoid human being. Plus I have asthma, so I'm just not even remotely trying to just risk my life for a good time. But then I don't judge the ones who choose to, because you don't know what vetting they're doing. Maybe that household already has 20 people who've been quarantined for the last 2 weeks. So they know they're fine. So they're having their party. And there's people who they know they've been self-quarantining. So by the time they're meeting, they know that they're all safe and they choose to have their parties. That's great. So all I'm going to say is just stay safe. Just make sure that you're all taking the necessary precautions, because it is never that serious. The dunda cannot be the reason why you're 6 feet under. So just, and you don't want to endanger other people in the event that you catch it from someone else. So if you're being careful about it, more power to you. Or we meet on house party the application.
Actually, naelewa vile ni painful sana kupostpone vitu kama
baby shower. Real quick before we take a break, go on.
Ni painful sana kupostpone vitu kama baby shower nini, lakini itabaki tu mmezisongesha tumalizane na hiki kitu hiko. So kama yako imesongesha, unaweza pata mimba ingine next year, at least unaweza make up for
to celebrate next year. Butita, you're a fool. We're going to take a break. When we get back, see, last week Esther Pasari had her picture on sanitary pads, and this week we understand the governor of Nyeri has his picture on sanitizers. I cannot deal. We'll get back. We'll talk more about that. You're watching The Trend.
party. Birthday party. Are we not invited?
We have gifts.
Malaria.
Mommy, best!
Rat.
Oh, die.
Party.
Compared to laundry spray, Mortein Doom Power Guard kills disease-causing pests instantly. Mortein Doom Power Guard.
Dettol's main objective is to help children protect themselves from diseases. Do you know how we get illnesses like diarrhea, cough, and cold?
No!
They are spread through germs on your hands. Your hands collect germs that causes diseases. You pick up germs from any surface, like when you don't wash your hands after going to the toilet, while playing. And then you can get sick because of germs. That's why you need to fight germs to stay healthy by washing your hands regularly with Dettol soap that gives the best germ protection ever against many illness-causing germs.
Wash, wash, wash your hands. What you have to do is bath, bath, bath yourself. Dettol soap every day. Wash, wash, wash your hands.
Send M-Pesa up to 1,000 Kenya shillings for free. Avoid contact with paper cash. Safaricom is for you.
John suffers from indigestion. His twin James suffers from heartburn. Sometimes it's the other way around or both. That's why they use Gaviscon Double Action. It soothes within 3 minutes and lasts up to 4 hours. For double relief from heartburn and indigestion, Gaviscon Double Action. If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
Disinfect and protect your home with Jik. Jik kills 99.9% of illness-causing germs. Disinfect floors, kitchen and bathroom surfaces and wash white clothes, towels and dishcloths with Jik bleach. Just Jik it.
This is NTV.
Tonight, 10 more recoveries and 5 new COVID-19 positive individuals.
For the first time in a day, we released more people than we took in.
Testing capacity set to be increased. Plus, when faced with hunger, keeping COVID-19 at bay is not top of mind. Scramble for free food in Kibra leaves residents exposed. Also tonight,
look at everybody outside.
Kenya demands answers from China on alleged mistreatment and quarantine conditions. And Easter is here. It's Good Friday.
The true meaning of Easter is victory over death, hope over adversity, and light over darkness.
But the COVID-19 pandemic has imposed a huge change in how season is celebrated.
Melissa?
Mom, it's Dad's birthday today. I'm giving him a party just like he gives me.
Nothing makes a mother more proud than seeing her child growing up. But I know that as she learns to care for others, she'll face even more germs and the risk of illnesses.
That's why you need strong Dettol protection. Just 1 cup of Dettol protects your home and family from up to 100 illness-causing germs.
Growing up needs Dettol protection.
how happy my baby is. I tried different brands, but now I've discovered the world-famous Molfix and saw the difference. Let's see how absorbent Molfix is. Molfix, thanks to its ultra-absorbent particles, can keep more liquid than the other diaper brand, so you can use it comfortably all day long. All babies deserve a high-quality diaper. You should also try Molfix.
When you're facing stubborn stains, you're always in a fierce fight, especially when others are fleeing away. However, with Cleasoft, I can make it so easy.
Cleasoft iko na 3 times particle energy to particles to blue husaidia kutoa mastain ngumu ngumu na ina enzymes za kulinda nguo zako ndio ziachwe zikikaa fresh.
Cleasoft kicks out stains kimateki.
Serious.
Disinfect and protect your home with Jik. Jik kills 99.9% of illness-causing germs. Disinfect floors, kitchen and bathroom surfaces, and wash white clothes, towels, and dishcloths with Jik bleach. Just Jik it.
And welcome back. You're watching TTTT. Thank you so much for the tweets that we were getting. Now, if I could just read some of the tweets regarding the 100 million, well now 200 million a month that the president is channeling to the entertainment industry to help cushion the artists during this very difficult time. Maybe President Uhuru Kenyatta amenishangaza jamani. Vile amesema mtu apewe pesa waendelee kuentertain kwa TV. Priorities bwana. We didn't have corona and that money was never channeled to sports. Now 200 million to be paid to musicians every month so they continue to entertain Kenyans during this time. Wasani mko wapi? Kipto is asking, why are we only paying artists, musicians and actors? See, they're also influencers. Mtukumbuke. Okay. Kane says, just like Google Loon today, instead of President Uhuru Kenyatta talking to Kenyans about food and electricity, hashtag rent freeze 2020 and water, I feel like he dwelt a lot more, rather on that day, he dwelt much on musicians' royalties, the taxes he talked on before. I'm not feeling included in this. With a lot of people just, there were also artists who came to, talk about this. There was Jalango, MC Jesse, who talked about it at length to explain how they all, the money is coming from their own royalties, so they do deserve it. But anyway, keep your tweets coming in. As we talk about Nyeri, now, the governor is now giving, his residents an opportunity to own a bottle of a sanitizer with his picture on it. Anita, you had a lot to say about this last week when we were talking about Esther Passaris. What are your thoughts on this?
Can I please just read one tweet that has really amused my life? So Bondi Rangu says, Edi Butita, umezoea kutesa kila weekend. Leo ni network na lighting inakutesa. Thanks to your white teeth and earphones.
Mimi vitu zinatumia internet kwangu ni mingi. Sio kama nyinyi simu peke yake. Like, kuna vitu mingi kwa nyumba zinatumia internet. Mimi hata fridge yangu yenyewe inatumia wifi.
Butita, bedani kuna swali. Mbona ukaeka hiyo picha iko hapo nyuma? Kulikuwa na picha ilikuwa hapo nyuma iko?
Aka hivyo.
Ukaeka hiyo picha.
Naka hivyo.
He just put in that one picture. So it looks like he's in his home.
One of my favorite pictures that I have. Like I love this portrait.
Hi. You look lighter.
So,
you're a light skin on that portrait, by the way. But the sanitizers, what are your thoughts on that?
Yo, watu wanaweka picha zao.
Okay.
Sijui mbona kitu ya kuua virus inawekwa picha ya virus nyingine. Yaani vitu zingine, yani wanasiasa hizi ni tabia gani? Like, do you have to do that tujue sawa? Mimi ndio nilipatia wasee sanitizer mtaa fulani niweke picha yangu. Wewe donate tu manze. Lakini ubaya wa Kenya pia siku ya election wanaweza sema kuwapea sanitizer.
That's true. Ulikuwa wapi ile time? Lazima uwakumbuke. That's true. So you want to put that picture on there. I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Amina.
But I guess campaign.
Yes. Unakumbuka mkikufa?
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, Anita, yes, what did you want to say?
Hey, okay, even I did not see that coming. Someone told me that, I'd be like, what a wow. So first of all, Pasaris and this guy was subgroup, the same. Those guys should just open a house party account and just be talking over there about how to waste our funds. Ultimately, it doesn't matter. I think like in this particular moment, thinking about how, let me do something that's going to make them remember that I gave them sanitary towels, that I gave them hand sanitizer, is unnecessary. People are losing their lives. The money you have spent having all that printing done, you could have invested it in getting more sanitizers. Because the more sanitizers that are there, the more lives you are protecting, and ultimately the more lives you're saving. Your picture is not going to save anyone's life. You don't need to shock people with your appearance. You save that for Instagram. I say this to you politicians all the time. I don't understand. If you want to take selfies and you want people to see, grow a social media audience.
Yes, but you see, let us not.
All right.
Politicians, for those who are watching, stop politicizing corona. You know, we cannot work like that.
Yeah.
Kidogo utasikia utasikia kuna party, utasikia kuna chama inaitwa sanitizer.
Sure.
Sasa ni wakati wa kutoa virusi katika mamlaka. Bana. Mama na sanitizer. Vijana na sanitizer.
Mama na sanitizer. Kila mtu akona sanitizer.
Butita, please don't release a song about sanitizers. I beg you. Leave that to
a simple boy.
I must release a song. That's the easiest way to reach. Everyone
make it happen
about your song.
And then feature is the Pasaris as the governor in the video. Fire.
No,
anyway, now listen.
If he hasn't already.
Yes, Anita.
Oh no, I just said I'm sure Jimmy Gate has already haja released too.
Oh, just in case, Asitore. Yeah. But you know he's trying to get paid. So musicians are getting paid. Let him do his thing. Listen now, if there is a classic example of preaching water and then drinking wine, I think it has to be this story. Now, cops recently, they were, arresting these residents in Woodley. They were, jogging, and then, they decided, we have a genius idea. Wacha wakayapa, kila mtu pamoja, sisi wote, including the cops, hatuna masks. That's a great idea. So that we teach them a lesson.
Mimi kama jogger, like every day naendanga workout na kimbia, road work nini, stay fit. That's how I remain fit. Ndio mnashindwaga na kuangaje fit nini, vitu kama hizo. So but niliona watu wamekalishwa down juu hawana mask. Pia mimi ikanihit. Hey, by the way, unaweza kuona unakimbia uko safe. Kumbe mko wengi kwa hiyo road. By the way, I said, tuvae tu mask. Kimbia, lakini hizo mafaini watu wanapigwa.
Acha nikuulize. Uko gizo unakimbianga mchana ama una prefer hapo jioni kidogo?
Hapa kutoka hapa kwangu vile mimi wanza road work naingianga na njia ya Karen. Unajua Karen vizuri?
No. Anita, what are your comments on this before you close out the show?
Karen kinyozi kwa hapo Kariobangi kwa stage. So napita Karen kinyozi vizuri. Na natokea Huruma.
Oh gosh. Anyway, Anita, what about you? Final thoughts before we close it out.
Oh no, I obviously think that they should all wear masks. If you're going to leave the house, it may not even be that you're protecting other people necessarily, but yourself as well. So just take all the precautions you've been told to take. Wear your gloves, wear your mask even if you're running, and if you must leave the house, just protect yourself because it's important to stay safe. We need you after all this.
It's not
paranoid. You'd rather be safe than sorry. You should never leave a what if where your health is concerned.
But it's true. Like I have many kona mask.
You try. I beg you when you're jogging tomorrow, just try.
One, I'm like, all over the place with these masks, but I can't emphasize enough, wear a mask and try and make sure, you know, kuna watu, of course, yani uwezi kununua maybe this mask, which is the best, I think is really good, but then there's so many different masks, there's so many tailors now who are even making money, so try wear a mask all the time. If you can't even gloves, sanitize, uoshe mara tatu, just try and take care of yourself and your family. Okay, so now before we finish, M7, comedian come, president come, you know, contortionist, I think, I don't know. Butita?
He's gone jogging.
Oh, he has. All right, so Anita, I hope you're going to be watching his videos. I don't know if he's going to be dropping one every day to help us keep fit.
He is by far one of the most entertaining presidents ever. As in, I think he had what about Uhuru's directive, and he's just trying to make sure that he finds a way to make it into the entertainer space. But anyway, yeah, he's an entertaining guy, so I just found it very fascinating. And I mean, working out, you can either come out of this COVID-19 very fit, looking good, with your health in check, or you're going to come out, you know, as you carry yourself out of the household. So it's really up to you.
I mean, one question before.
All right, so Butita, real quick.
But stay safe and stay home.
Kuna swali ya mwisho before tumalize. Hizi BNB za Anita zenye anakujanga nazo Skype ni pesa ngapi? Anita, natafuta BNB. So umekomboa na ngapi hiyo?
What? The place
All
where
right,
I stay?
I guess that concludes our show.
It's the house that I live in on a daily basis. But it's rented, yes. But I live here on a daily basis.
So we're bringing Major tonight at 10 p.m. on the Trend. Make sure that you check us out then. Anita na Butita, sijui mnaambia na nini, mko na each other's numbers. Call one another to ask each other about your houses. I wish you all the best. Social distance, namu sanitize, including your thoughts. All right, so thank you so much for watching. My name is Amina Abdirabba. We're back at 10 p.m. You don't want to miss the show. Very entertaining. I am super excited, looking forward to that. So I hope you enjoyed the show. TTTT. Thank you so much for keeping us trending. We appreciate that. So catch you at 10 p.m.
down, and the proof's in the results. It works.
Dad has not been feeling well for a long time. He has become so weak, we can't play together.
Why are you refusing to go to the hospital? I told you there is no way you'll know if it is TB or not if you do not go and get tested. If by any chance you find out that you have TB, you'll get the treatment for free from any hospital. All the tests are free. All the medications are free. Are you waiting to infect your family so that you can go to the hospital?
Don't wait till it's too late. TB is preventable, treatable, and curable.
Rashes again? Kiss Kids diapers. Kiss Kids, no rashes. Kiss Kids, no rashes. Bye-bye rashes. Buy diapers. Choose Kiss Kids.
Endo kusheze hapo nje na nazi. Wacha nichukue gazeti. Haina tila. Kumbuka, ndani kuna kitu ameficha. Nini hiyo?
Mkate.
Mkate.
Unaona selector sasa hii selector iko na kizesta. Maze
unajua watu wengine wanaambia sasa nini? Ati mkate yote kubwa ni selector. Hapana. Selector ni selector.
Selector,
The difference is in the taste. And now, Selector comes with free Zesta Jam for a limited period of time.
We encourage our students and counterparts from both tertiary and higher learning institutions to become advocates for coronavirus prevention and control at home and in their communities. We appeal to you to share and practice safe hygiene to curb the spread of the coronavirus. Remember to wash your hands, sanitize, and keep social distance as per government directives. This message was brought to you by the BOG Rift Valley Institute of Science and Technology. Arvist, technology for industrialization.
Making things safer for you. We have put in extra safety measures to keep everyone safe. Please expect some delays. Safaricom is for you.
Watu wangu, coronavirus mazee imefika. Na hii kitu ni noma.
Why? Because coronavirus doesn't have a cure.
Haina tiba.
So hakuna ati tunangojea msee atuletee dawa or anything.
It spreads from person to person.
And we might not know who has it.
It's passed through touching, coughing onto someone and being close.
But together, we can stop it.
I need you and you also need me now. Simple things that we need to do.
Tuosheni mikono tafadhali, watu wangu wa mtaani. Tuosheni mikono.
Lazima ni protect na corona kwa kuosha mikono na sabuni na maji.
Kani kukohoa mazee, lazima ukohoe hivi. Hiyo design mazee.
Avoid crowded places. The only crowded places you should be in is a WhatsApp group.
Stay home, but if you must go outside, wear a mask.
Tusemea watu wengine mate ama watu wengine wasipate ile virus, sio?
Alafu watu wa kuhagiana tuache kuhagiana. Watu wa kusalimiana pia tuache kusalimiana.
Ikiwezekana zaidi ukufanyie kazi yako nyumbani kama vile tunafanya.
If you protect yourself, you protect each and everyone else.
Tiba ni mimi. Tiba ni mimi.
Tiba ni wewe.
Tiba ni wewe. Tiba ni mimi.
Tiba ni sisi.
Tiba ni mimi. Tiba ni wewe. Tiba ni sisi wote.
Tiba ni mimi, tiba ni wewe, tiba ni sisi.
This is NTV.
Good evening. I know it may not feel like it, but it is a Good Friday, and here at NTV and on NTV Weekend Edition, we are determined to help you make the best of a difficult situation. Before we get into the highlights of what we've prepared for you, let's take a look at the numbers as far as the COVID-19 pandemic, the reason we're all stuck at home today, what the situation is, and let's take a look at the global outlook. Those numbers were given to us this afternoon by the CS for Health, Mutahi Kagwe, and the number of confirmed cases are 1,623,082. The number of reported deaths are 97,262, and those who've recovered, thank God, are 353,515. The status in Kenya, the number of confirmed cases are 189. Those recovered are 22, with 10 of them having been announced this afternoon. The number of deaths are 7, unfortunately, and the number of active cases stand at 160. That is the situation as far as COVID-19 is concerned stands. Time now to take a look at what else we have lined up for you. Tonight, 10 more recoveries and 5 new COVID-19 positive individuals.
For the first time in a day, we released more people than we took in.
Testing capacity set to be increased. Plus, when faced with hunger, keeping COVID-19 at bay is not top of mind. Scramble for free food in Kibra leaves residents exposed. Also tonight,
look at everybody outside.
Kenya demands answers from China on alleged mistreatment and quarantine conditions. And Easter is here. It's Good Friday.
The true meaning of Easter is victory over death, hope over adversity, and light over darkness.
But the COVID-19 pandemic has imposed a huge change in how season is celebrated.
This is Weekend Edition.
All right, our sign language interpreter this evening is David Agondo. As I said at the start, it is a Good Friday, the coronavirus pandemic notwithstanding, and we have 10 people who've recovered from the COVID-19 virus. They tested positive and have now tested negative after 2 tests in 48 hours, and they've been cleared for discharge from the Kenyatta National Hospital's Infectious Diseases Isolation Unit at Mbagathi, and that is according to the Health Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe, who also announced that 5 more people have tested positive. Sharon Baranga was at the day's briefing and now reports that the government is calling for greater compliance among Kenyans.
The Good Friday COVID-19 daily briefing by the Ministry of Health came with both good and not so good news. The government says an additional 504 COVID-19 tests have been made, and among them, 5 people tested positive. 3 are from Mombasa, 1 from Nairobi, and another from Nyandarua County.
We now have 189 Kenyans with confirmed positive, confirmed as positive. These 5 people are all Kenyan nationals, and only 1 of them has a history of travel from the UAE.
However, the Cabinet Secretary says 10 people have been cleared for discharge from the Mbagathi Isolation Center after they were treated and thereafter tested COVID-19 negative. This brings the number of people who have recovered to 22.
This is good news indeed. It is a Good Friday. For the first time in a day, we release more people than we took in.
So far, 6,192 samples have been tested in Kenya as more effort is put in to increase efficiency.
Let us not ease off at any time. Let us keep remembering that the disease is not slowing. The disease is continuing. But if we continue to cooperate, if we continue to do what we are supposed to do, there is a chance that we might be able to arrest it before it becomes a disaster that it has become in many, many parts of the world.
And as the way of life changes on account of COVID-19 is changing, no handshakes, no hugs, no hangouts, which is even more demanding of people whose culture is very communal, Kenyans are being warned that they should not relent on following the set guidelines and urged to go even further in embracing the inevitable changes.
Once again, I am asking you to take all the measures that you can to avoid exchanging notes and coins. Physical money presents surfaces that can very easily be contaminated with the virus.
Sharon Baranga, NTV.
Well, we are living in the COVID-19 era, and on that account, several regulations have been gazetted to guide how we will interact. Let's take a look at what a Gazette notice published only yesterday has stipulated in terms of how we travel and how we come into contact in an effort to stem the spread of the COVID-19 virus. There we go. All right. So private vehicles have been instructed that they should not carry more than 50% of their licensed capacity. As far as bicycles are concerned, you should have only the rider, goods, and not more than 1 passenger. Where motorcycles are concerned, only 1 passenger or goods. Right, let's take a look at what else has been stipulated now in law. Those who must wear face masks, that is every person in a public place, users of public or private transport, as well as public transport operators. Note, the mask must cover your mouth and nose. All right, and the penalty for not observing these regulations is a fine not exceeding 20,000. That's right. Unless you have a loose 20,000 shillings, you're definitely going to want to comply with those regulations, or imprisonment if you do not have that 20,000 and have flouted those restrictions, imprisonment for a period of not exceeding 6 months or both. All right, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs now says it was not consulted over a 14-day mandatory quarantine order for foreign nationals, mostly Africans, as directed by China. The government is now demanding answers and a quick solution to the stalemate that has left hundreds of Kenyans stranded.
That's everybody outside.
Amateur footage showing Africans being evicted from their apartments to forceful quarantine in China explains the fury directed at the very source of the coronavirus that has plagued the world.
Yes. They took us away from our house.
Kenyans, mostly residing in Guangzhou and other major cities in China, are also bearing the brunt following the controversial directive from the host country's authorities that all foreigners undergo a 14-day mandatory quarantine at government's designated hotels at their own costs. Failure by Kenyan embassy in China to respond quickly to the crisis put Ambassador Sarah Serem on the spot. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs, through a statement, now says that it was not aware of such directive from Chinese authorities and demands an immediate intervention in order to effectively address the stalemate. The statement also reads in part, the ministry has received assurances from the Chinese embassy in Nairobi that the government of China takes a serious view of the situation and the local authorities in Guangzhou have been tasked to take immediate action to safeguard the legitimate rights of the Africans concerned. This is not the first time that the Kenyan embassy in China is on the spot for failure to quickly look into the welfare of Kenyans. The embassy was criticized for failing to evacuate mostly Kenyan students during the outbreak of the coronavirus in China. Seth Olale, NTV.
Dozens of people were today injured in Kibra during a food distribution exercise. Residents gathered in large numbers at the Deputy County Commissioner's office for food rations, but the orderly event lost its flow and went off the rail, as Rose Wangoi reports.
At this time of the coronavirus pandemic, people, especially in the informal settlements, foresee difficulty meeting their daily basic needs, especially food. That's when residents of a section of Kibra slum heard of a food distribution exercise happening at the Deputy County Commissioner's office, they did not hesitate to show up in their numbers. Social distancing or not, this was from ODM leader Raila Odinga's donation of food to help needy families. It wasn't long before drama ensued after it emerged that only selected families with cards would be given food. Some people tried to force their way through this gate. The threat of coronavirus infection after coming into close contact with others was the last thing on their minds. Women were forced to contest with men in the scramble to get a share of the foodstuffs. Some people fell and were trampled on. The injured, mostly women, were carried to safety to recover. The flexing of muscles determined who got more food. Would be wrong to fault those who gathered here, since a majority of people in Kibra live hand to mouth, and failure by breadwinners to go out and do casual jobs could mean going to bed hungry.
Kama kuna corona Kenya tuende kazi, hatuwezi kurundikana kwa veti ya chief. Tunangoja msaada. Na ilhali hakuna hiyo msaada tunapata. Kama hakuna kazi, sisi tunaishi kwa manyumba. Kama hakuna corona Kenya, serikali tuachie sisi tuende makazi zetu.
The exercise was called off as the injured were rushed to a nearby health center. The motive may have been right, but the result very retrogressive in the containment of the spread of the coronavirus, something the Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni has warned about.
When you try to distribute food or money in such a situation, people gather around you. Many people can be infected in that process. You would therefore have caused the sickness or death of those people. Anybody involved in that effort will be arrested and charged with attempted murder.
Such donations around the country are needed. But what should the protocol be? Rozongoi, NTV.
Many counties have come in to help the national government in fighting the coronavirus, but tonight, Bungoma County government is being accused of profiteering from the pandemic. Some government officials have allegedly purchased 20-litre plastic jerry cans at 10,000 shillings each as part of its activities to combat COVID-19. Members of that county assembly are accusing the county's health docket of misappropriating 6.9 million shillings set apart for awareness campaigns and preventive measures.
Today, we mark our 30th day of collaborative concerted efforts between the national government and many actors to stop the spread of the virus.
But Bungoma County government officials seem to be making a fortune out of this COVID-19 misfortune, seem to be profiting from the collaboration. Bungoma County Assembly MCAs have flagged the misuse of 6.9 million shillings set aside to fight COVID-19 in the county. The assembly is accusing Governor Wycliffe Wangamati's government of purchasing a 20-litre plastic jerrycan at 10,000 shillings apiece. Jerrycans that were to be used for hand washing. The dirty hands are said to be of the Bungoma County Special Programs Director Carol Buyela, who allegedly facilitated the illegal and irregular purchase of 600 plastic jerrycans, said to have been distributed to various market centers and other public spaces.
We are seeing the deep state here in Bungoma working. The appetite of looting in Bungoma County now, it has reached a higher level. We are not fools. And as a committee, we will speak our mind.
In a letter seen by NTV, the County Acting Finance Chief Officer Jonathan Namulala had written to Health Chief Officer Patrick Wandili, requesting him approve the repurposing of 6.9 million shillings from the Bungoma County Referral Hospital Kitty and the rest from Webuye Hospital to be used in creating awareness on COVID-19 in the county. The MCAs are accusing the House Speaker Emmanuel Situma and the Assembly Clerk John Mosongo of colluding with the county executive to sabotage oversight exercise over the funds. The Assembly's Health Committee had summoned officials from the health docket and some of the county executives over the expenditure, but they were a no-show.
Lakini huwezi kuchukua pesa ya kufanya uhamasishaji waende kununua mitungi.
Sisi kama bodaboda town hapa hatujapata mtungi hata moja hapa kwetu.
Sisi tunalingana hii mpira yenye wanatunulia shilingi 700 hii. Alafu wanatutanganya si ati kwamba hii mpira walinunua shilingi 10,000. Sijui walikuwa wananunua wapi.
It may be fresh in the memory of Kenyans when, under the then Governor Kenneth Lusaka, Bungoma County made headlines after the procurement of wheelbarrows at a cost of 109,000 shillings each, a scandal that saw a number of officials prosecuted, charged, and convicted. Whether this latest case is one of the mudslinging within the county, the leadership will need to wash its hands off the matter, or an example made out of the culprits if found guilty of infecting the COVID-19 fight with corruption. Vincent Oduor, NTV.
About 1,000 motorists who attempted to enter or leave the capital city on Good Friday were turned away by police officers manning roadblocks. NTV's Seth Olale reports that most of those who were denied access claimed that they're seeking to cross those borders on medical grounds, and that the officers say lacked supporting evidence.
Nairobi City on Good Friday's Eve, the full moon revealing the empty and silent streets that have been the norm recently. As dusk sneaks through the darkness, so do a section of motorists who attempt to leave or enter the capital for personal reasons. This despite the health CS directing citizens to spend the Easter festivities in their houses in a bid to curb the spread of coronavirus. For instance, over 200 motorists were turned away at the Stoniathi police roadblock in Lukena, Machakos County after failing to substantiate their reasons for crossing the barriers.
I cannot be allowed to take trunks and foodstuffs to my kids, so I was told to go back.
Eastern Region Police Commander Lydia Lugami, who led the operation, noted that most motorists claimed to be in need of urgent medical intervention.
We are only dealing with essential services which we allow along this road. So we're just discouraging Kenyans, please stay indoors. We're not allowing any personal vehicles or public vehicles to travel unless it is a matter of emergency.
Those who attempted to use shortcuts encountered a dead end.
Some people who are alighting from the vehicles and they start boarding the motorbikes, but today I can say we have made an extra mile that there's no motorbike within. We have managed to chase them away. So if you are stopped, you either go back to where you are coming from or stay with us here, but you will not pass.
Even passing ambulances were subjected to thorough scrutiny. Only cargo trucks were easily allowed access, although drivers had to undergo mandatory screening before proceeding. The cessation of movement was effected on Monday night along the Nairobi metropolitan area and started on Wednesday in the counties of Mombasa, Kilifi and Kwale for 21 days in an effort to reduce the spread of the coronavirus. Today is the 5th consecutive day since these particular exercises began in earnest, meaning there are 16 days to go, but that could as well be extended if the government will not have achieved its objective. Seth Olale, NTV, Lukena.
The report by Seth Olale just underscores the uncertainty for very many people on how they'll get their basics. It's a reality for many, especially those who earn their living from casual labor. But now, thanks to Safaricom and through their Bonga for Good initiative, you can make a donation to those in need. The code is *126#, *126#, and you'll be walked through how to carry out that transaction. One Bonga point translates to about 30 cents. So you can share your Bonga points with those who you know who are in need. Again, that is *126# yourself. If you are in need, you can utilize your Bonga points at the over 140,000 Lipa na M-Pesa stations across the country to purchase your essentials. And on that note, we take a break, but we'll be back before you know it.
Kira? Where are you?
Malaria! That's why you need the superior protection of Mortein 360-degree reach. Only this has 11 vents which enable it to reach the farthest corners. Mortein, total indoor protection.
Dettol's main objective is to help children protect themselves from diseases. Do you know how we get illnesses like diarrhea, cough, and cold?
No!
They are spread through germs on your hands. Your hands collect germs that causes diseases. You pick up germs from any surface, like when you don't wash your hands after going to the toilet, while playing. And then you can get sick because of germs. That's why you need to fight germs to stay healthy by washing your hands regularly with Dettol soap that gives the best germ protection ever against many illness-causing germs.
Wash, wash, wash your hands. What you have to do is bath yourself. Dettol soap every day. Wash, wash, wash your hands.
Shika storo kibao na 200% storo bonus. Piga simu zaidi, tuma SMS au nunua bundles ufikishe target yako leo. Pata 50% extra airtime unapo top up na kupiga *544*2* amount hash.
Selena!
Toto, where's mommy?
Today's a toilet day.
What? Oh.
Selena!
Toilet, babe?
Tomorrow we're hosting a party and it's a matter of my reputation.
It's a toilet, not a white shirt. Even if you spend your entire day cleaning with bleach and detergent, it still won't be party ready.
Impossible.
Challenge. Harpic 10X. Even if you use bleach and detergent 10 times, they won't give you the same sparkling clean toilet that Harpic 10X will give you.
Wow!
Harpic 10X. Harpic, Kenya's #1 toilet cleaner.
Disinfect and protect your home with Jik. Jik kills 99.9% of illness-causing germs. Disinfect floors, kitchen and bathroom surfaces and wash white clothes, towels and dishcloths with Jik bleach. Just Jik it.
This is Mo Spice. Entertainment. Let's talk. More music.
Hey yo, wagwan my jam down family mazee. I miss you so much. Hope you're keeping safe. Hope you're sanitizing mazee. Nikona good news. This coming Saturday will be live from Facebook and Instagram. And of course, your favorite TV, NTV, reggae, roots and dancehall music alongside my co-host Miss Katiwa herself.
We'll be giving you a great show, a double threat show, a triple threat show, everything that you, man, kitu yote unaweza imagine. The only thing that you need to do is stay tuned and make sure you follow our pages
from 10 p.m. up until midnight.
Peace out.
Experience the convenience of owning your property at the comfort of your phone. Download My Optiven app on Google Play Store or App Store. Call 0740 400 400. Optiven, the pace setters in real estate. Simple and convenient.
Welcome back to NTV Weekend Edition. Now, ordinarily, being a Good Friday, Christian faithful all over the world would be commemorating the crucifixion and death of Jesus Christ. It is an unconventional Easter weekend given the COVID-19 pandemic and measures that have redefined life as it has been known. NTV's Bernard Ojwang visited St. Paul's Cathedral Catholic Diocese of Homa Bay and gives us this report.
Day for Christians globally, especially the Catholics, as they usually celebrate their adoration and exaltation of the cross. Here in Homa Bay town, they usually do it in a special way, having a procession starting from the pyre, having a little bit celebration in Homa Bay town, then proceeding to the church. But today, the highway where the Easter celebrations usually take place, the streets were deserted with a few people seen trying to observe the social distancing and other preventive measures, all in the name of saving lives, a central theme for Christians during Easter.
The true meaning of Easter is victory over death, hope over adversity, and light over darkness. Let us use this occasion to stoke our hopes for a bright future and to rededicate ourselves to this fight of our times.
At St. Paul's Cathedral Catholic Diocese of Homa Bay, a church would normally host 600 congregants. The Easter commemoration this year is a stark contrast of what will normally be witnessed during the enactment of the crucifixion, as seen at a previous ceremony in Nairobi, showing the way of the cross and the suffering of Jesus Christ.
Like this, without the corona pandemic, the church would be full, but that would be after the procession, beginning from down the harbor at Lake Victoria, through Homa Bay town to the church here at the cathedral. Today, because of this COVID-19, this church is virtually empty because people have been instructed to stay home and stay safe.
According to Father Francis Leso, despite the pandemic, they will still observe Easter amongst a handful of leaders. 3 priests, 6 nuns, and 2 brothers who stay in the church will have a private celebration in the church, adding that the adoration and exaltation of the cross will be celebrated in September if all goes well.
This we shall celebrate as a community, with us priests inside, with the sisters that we have just down here, and the brothers also we have, all in the same compound. So we shall meet in the same church here to celebrate this as per the direction and the directives given by our Archbishop, His Grace Philip Anyolo.
The adoration of the cross, the exaltation of the cross will be done in September.
Residents feel the inconvenience but will obey the call to protect themselves.
Kama Mkatoliki nilijiandaa kusherekea celebration ya Easter kama kila siku. Tutoke huko paya tukipanda juu, lakini hiyo haikuwa kama kawaida. Imekuwa ile hata kanisa kuna mtu wa kutualika, tuanze vipi, tufanye aje.
Mary Ojala, a staunch Catholic, couldn't help but make her way to the church despite locked doors due to what she termed as personal needs that she had to speak to her Lord about.
With God, you can't give up. We follow our doctrines, and we are going to do that until one day this corona thing will go away. But you know, you cannot stop praying because of disease. In any case, it is now that we are supposed to pray properly.
Bernardo Juang, NTV.
All right, Bernardo Drang there sharing his experience this Good Friday. But we did get a bit of good news as much as we are stuck at home on account of COVID-19. And that is that the 10 Kenyans who've recovered from the COVID-19 virus testing negative, bringing the number of those who've recovered in the country to 22. There is another gentleman who will be joining us shortly, and his name is Steve Kinodia. He is admitted at the St. Louis Hospital in Paris, France. But don't fret, he is feeling much better. First, let's take a look at how he was feeling on April the 2nd when he was admitted to the ICU.
They used to say Africans are contracted. That's stupidity. Hii kitu inamaliza hata wa Afrika, inamaliza wazee, inamaliza matajiri, inamaliza maskini, inamaliza ngozi nyeupe, nyeusi, rangi yote, age yote. Kwa hivyo ile kitu nawaambia, take precautions. Msiseme serikali sijui inatufungia.
Stephen, good to see that you're looking and you tell me feeling much better. You're even sitting up on your hospital bed. You tell me you're out of the ICU and now you're recovering. Just okay, how different do you feel now compared to when you shot that video a couple of days ago?
Yeah, thank you very much just for inviting me for this interview. And just for knowledge, my name is Stephen Kinodia. I'm in Paris. I'm a Kenyan residing in Europe and working in Europe. I want to share my experience because I was sick on 23rd. I started feeling nausea and some headache, some learning stomach, some chest pain. And I went to see my doctor on the 27th, who really told me that I have the coronavirus. In the first place, I didn't feel any shock because I was so painful. My body was so painful. And he gave me some medication, some antibiotics, azithromycin, for 3 days. I took those azithromycin for 3 days, but unfortunately, they were not doing any good in my body. So I had to call him on second just to give information. And he told me not to go to his cabinet, to his office, and to go direct and see for a scanner. And in fact, he sent the prescription direct by email.
Okay.
When I went to do the scanner, my lungs were rotten. I can say that. Because immediately I was transferred to St. Louis Hospital in Paris in an ICU unit. And you know, when you here in Europe, when you are declared COVID-19 victim, you don't see your family. It's like you are isolated. and they remove your clothes. You are traumatized. I was traumatized, but I had a lot of pain.
Sorry to hear that, Stephen, but I'm sure you've been sick before. How different was this particular experience? I know you've talked a lot in your videos about having a fighting spirit. How different was this sickness?
This is a different fight because I saw death. I was in the tunnel of pain, darkness of death, because I could see myself walking in front, and my people I loved very much were behind me and they could not reach me. So I saw death. In fact, God saved me in the middle of the tunnel. And that's the difference between who Kenodia was yesterday before the virus, the coronavirus, and Kenodia of today. And in fact, I want to just to say that night of second, when I saw that tunnel, I was in that tunnel. The following morning when I woke up, I decided to take that video, which I sent to a friend and I sent to social media, because I said, since I'm dying, I was dying, and I knew I was dying. I was already dead.
Well, Steve,
I wanted to share my experience with Kenyans, telling them that this is not a joke.
All right, thank you so much, Steve. And I'm glad you're looking and you're feeling like a new man. Do tell us, a lot of ado has been made about oxygen. When we saw that video you shot on the 2nd, you were hooked up to oxygen. How has that benefited your recovery? You know, because the government has time and again asked those who are hoarding oxygen cylinders to release them. What difference did it make to your recovery?
You know what happened after, even if I'm healed, my 2 lungs were damaged. So for them to recuperate, I have to have this oxygen. I sleep with it, with oxygen, which is about 4 liters of oxygen. It's just to help. Even if I'm not contagious, I cannot affect people, or I cannot be affected anymore. But my lungs need some oxygen for it to recuperate the damage.
All right. Stephen, finally, the reason you said you shot that video was to speak to Kenyans, inform them, let them know how serious this COVID-19 situation. What message do you want to leave them with?
In fact, I saw what happened in Mombasa at the ferry. I have heard that there was some manifestation in Githurai. What I can tell Kenyans, in these European countries, we ignored China. We say there's a Chinese disease. So we didn't do anything. We ignored everything. Italy, they started street battle in the street like what we are doing in Nairobi. The same thing. In Spain, the same thing. But today, they are crying for their death. I can tell Kenyans that in Europe, we don't bury anymore. We ban people. And the people is the military who are doing the job, because when your relative is dead, you cannot do anything with that body. So let us not reach there. Let us ask the government to make a lock-on completely in the country. This country is in Europe, all the countries in Europe, including France. We are 4 weeks ahead that it has been locked out the whole country. Even transporting the sick people from east to west, north to south, is the military aircrafts which are using that. Okay. Moving from your house to go to the supermarket, you have to have a form that I'm going to see the doctor, I'm going to buy something. Okay. You cannot move from one place to another. Okay. The other thing is that we have to intensify the control. And that's why I'm asking the government to be serious on this lock-on. It should not be only in Nairobi and the coast region. It should be the whole country. Okay. It's painful, but it's the price to pay. Otherwise, we will be our people will be dying in the street. You will not even be able to bury or even to ban them. The other thing, and the last point before I wind up, our politicians are using this as a joke. I saw some politicians selling, giving buckets with some blooding, or some are giving some shampoo. Shampoo will not help kill coronavirus.
COVID-19. All right. Thank you. Understandably, yes. Steve has so much to tell us, given he says he's a man who's come back from the brink of death. And I'm so sorry, we do have to take a break. But Steve, one last question that Mark Masai had for you. Are you afraid of experiencing stigma? You're scheduled to be released on Tuesday. The government here said those who are being released should not be shunned by their society. Are you afraid when you go back home that perhaps your neighbors might look at you a little funny?
Yeah, I'm a different Stephen today, and by message, and I'll pray God that when I come out of this hospital, I'll try to find positive-minded people, because a lot of people who are confined in their houses, they have nothing to eat, they have nothing to even to drink, and we have a lot of destitute people, people who are very poor.
Okay, Steve, I don't know that you got my question. I'm asking, are you afraid that people may shun you or keep their distance because they're afraid of getting infected now that they know you are positive?
The distance, we need to keep distance, but keeping distance is also telling people that when you go to look for that kibarua and you get the 300 Kenya shillings, you are taking the virus home. Okay. Let us even not be close to one another.
All right. Okay.
Let us stay wherever we are. I had people saying that
right,
we are going to pray God over the weekend. That is total nonsense.
Thank you,
because Steve. People who are passing through the bus to get some beers, you take the virus from the bar to your home, and you kill your children and your family.
All right, thank you, Steve. And that is from a man who has experienced just what COVID-19 is all about. We take a break.
Disinfect and protect your home with Jik. Jik kills 99.9% of illness-causing germs. Disinfect floors, kitchen and bathroom surfaces, and wash white clothes, towels and dishcloths with Jik bleach. Just Jik it.
Sona moja imetengenezwa kwa njia spesheli ili kupambana na maumivu kwa haraka. Sona moja ina aspirin kama kiungo. Sona moja, kitulizo kamili. Maumivu yakizidi, pata ushauri wa daktari.
Daily M-Pesa transaction limits increased to 300,000 shillings. Do more on M-Pesa daily to avoid handling cash. Safaricom is for you.
Birthday party. Birthday party. Birthday party. Are we not invited?
We have gifts.
Malaria. Mommy, best. Rat.
Oh, die.
Party.
Compared to laundry spray, Mortein Doom Power Guard kills disease-causing pests instantly. Mortein Doom Power Guard.
Sensitivity is a short, sharp pain that people experience when they have something hot or cold getting to the nerve of the tooth, causing that discomfort. If the sensitivity is left alone, it may get worse. Dentists recommend Sensodyne to their patients. It's able to get inside the tooth and calm the nerve of the tooth down, and the proof's in the results. It works.
All right, welcome back. You're watching NTV Weekend Edition. Now, Kenyans in informal settlements and vulnerable groups across the country are set to get free water for the next 3 months. Finally, some good news. This is among the measures that the water I sincerely apologize for that, but as we were saying, Kenyans in informal settlements and vulnerable groups across the country are set to get free water for the next 3 months. And this is among the measures that the Water and Sanitation Cabinet Secretary Cicely Kariuki has listed and asked county governments to facilitate. According to the protocols and guidelines, water service providers should be fully operational at all times, ensure that no water supply is disconnected from April to June, and ensure their personnel observe hygiene guidelines and facilitate the sanitation of residents of the various parts of the country. If that story did not uplift you yet from the doldrums of COVID-19 and spending Easter at home, this story should. Now, a woman who spent 3 nights in a roofless house in Eldoret after her landlady removed the iron sheets that were covering her in a bid to eject her due to a failure to pay 500 shillings in rent arrears now has a reason to smile, and so should you after her plight was aired on NTV. As Gabriel Kudaka reports, it was indeed a good Friday for some tenants in Eldoret after their landlady reduced their rent by half owing to the tough economic times.
The agony that then Bosibori had to contend with after failing to raise the 500 shillings rent balance for her house in Huruma Estate in Eldoret.
Asante.
But today the situation was different when NTV visited her at her new house in Shaurimoyo Estate. A well-wisher was moved by her harrowing story and offered to pay her rent for half a year.
Leo ninaselekea kabisa, niko ninalala mzuri, najisikia kabisa kwa nyumba yangu sasa.
Nashukuru tena NTV. Mungu awabariki na wabariki sana, na ndugu yetu anaitwa Jumba kutuhurumia mpaka akatuhamisha mahali ambapo tulikuwa, akatuleta kwa makao mazuri.
The well-wisher called on Kenyans to be considerate of the plight the society was going through and assist where necessary in the spirit of Easter.
The Bible requires us to be a brother's keeper. We need to help one another.
And in a neighboring estate in Mailinne, tenants had all the reasons to be thankful.
Ametusaidia sana na tunafurahi sana, tunamshukuru sana. Kama mimi nilikuwa nalipa 35, sasa nalipa 17, kuna walikuwa nalipa 6, wanalipa 3.
While some landlords and ladies are using unorthodox means to eject their tenants who are unable to pay the rent, some like Rachel here have decided to reduce the rent to cushion their tenants against harsh economic times occasioned by the outbreak of coronavirus.
Na ni kwa sababu niko na mambo yangu kidogo kidogo, nikasema nitawapunguzia nusu na mimi nibaki na nusu kwa muda wa miezi 3.
For the tenants, the stay at home directive now has a real and not so restrictive meaning to these residents who are counting their blessings. Gabriel Kudaka, NTV.
The COVID-19 Emergency Response Fund has today received a donation of 100 million shillings in the form of food from the Hindu Council of Kenya. The consignment will be distributed over 1 month to vulnerable households living in Korogosho, Mukuru, Kibera, Kawangware, Kangemi, Dandora, among other informal settlements in the Nairobi metropolitan area. The fund chairperson, Jane Karuko, called on other donors to come on board in a bid to help Kenyans, and she added that the board has set up the necessary framework to secure a coordinated consolidation, demarcation and distribution of donations to vulnerable groups across the country, and that is based on already developed needs assessment analysis. The fund is currently focused on providing support and augmenting the national response efforts to the supply of medical facilities and equipment, as well as support for vulnerable communities with their immediate needs, including food relief.
To address one of our key challenges, we have 2 key challenges as a board we are looking at. One is medical urgencies or needs where we can, and then the other one is livelihoods, making sure that people have food, because we know the society is going to be stretched.
Ministers from the G20 group of nations are set to meet to discuss measures on cutting back of global oil production in the wake of the slump in prices due to low demand. The COVID-19 pandemic has literally ground economies to a halt, with the resultant effect that the price of crude oil has literally gone over the cliff, plunging below $20 a barrel late last month. There are hopes that further cuts in production will be agreed upon across the board, especially following the agreement in principle to slash production between the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, and Russia. The Russia-OPEC deal will see a cut of 10 million barrels per day, which translates to about 10% of current global production. A number of small-scale traders in Limuru, Kiambu County, are set to benefit from the completion of the construction of a market. The new facility, which will for now accommodate less traders than it would have had the COVID-19 pandemic not come about, has taken 6 years to build. The Kiambu Governor, James Nyoro, has ordered the Limuru Water and Sewerage Company to ensure that there is a constant supply of water for the public and traders in order to maintain hygiene.
Tatizo ilikuwa kukaa huku kwa barabara, magari za zingine zinasogomana, fupi na tena mvua. Lakini siku ya leo tumefurahia kasi ya leo.
Kitambo hapa tulikuwa tunakaa nje, tunanyeshewa, vitu zetu zinaibiwa huko, zinanyeshewa, zinaharibiwa na jua, lakini saa hii tumefurahia vile tumeingia kwa soko na hatutakuwa tukinyeshewa.
Na tutataka kuhimiza kutoka kesho, hakuna mtu yeyote ambaye tutaruhusu awe akifanya kuuzia nje ya soko. Watu wote watakuwa ndani ya soko. Na tunajua kuna wengine ambao sasa watakimbia kwenda kuuzia huko nje. Hiyo ni kuonyesha wale wako ndani wamedanganywa. Hatutaruhusu.
Time for us to pay the bills, but before you blink and open your eyes, we'll be back.
Shika storo kibao na 200% storo bonus. Piga simu zaidi, tuma SMS au nunua bundles ufikishe target yako leo. Pata 50% extra airtime unapo top up na kupiga star 544 star 2 star amount hash. Usingoje hadi dakika ya mwisho. Pimwa kwenye hospitali ya serikali. Matibabu yanapatikana bila malipo. TB inakinga na tiba.
Heaviness and a burning inside. It could be heartburn.
Indigestion and heartburn? Eno gets to work in 6 seconds and works on the 6 symptoms of heartburn so you can keep living life non-stop. Eno, fight heartburn and indigestion fast.
Discovered the world-famous Molfix and saw the difference. Let's see how absorbent Molfix is. Molfix, thanks to its ultra-absorbent particles, can keep more liquid than the other diaper brand, so you can use it comfortably all day long. All babies deserve a high-quality diaper. You should also try Molfix.
Send M-Pesa up to 1,000 Kenya shillings for free. Avoid contact with paper cash. Safaricom is for you.
Voila, here we are. We're back with NTV Weekend Edition. We get some political news now, and it's now emerging that David Murathe's resignation as a Jubilee official was never accepted and remains as the bona fide vice chairperson of the country's largest political party. In a communique that has already unsettled the deputy president's side of the Jubilee party, there are proposed changes to replace officials given positions in government. But in a quick rejoinder, DP William Ruto and about 100 MPs allied to him have individually written to the registrar protesting the move, terming it a fraud and an illegality. NTV's senior political affairs reporter Kennedy Mureithi tells us more on this unfolding drama in Jubilee.
A new move by select officials of the Jubilee party to effect changes and install new officials has rubbed the Deputy President William Ruto the wrong way. The Deputy Party leader and about 100 MPs allied to him have protested a move to change officials and called on the Registrar of Political Parties not to effect the changes. A Gazette notice from the Registrar of Political Parties, Anderito, dated 6th April 2020, has reawakened a rift in the Jubilee party, with DP Ruto tweeting, "As Kenyans are focused on COVID-19 pandemic, some shadowy characters are attempting to fraudulently institute illegal changes in officials in Jubilee party. As deputy leader, I have alerted the registrar of the fraud. Party members should know the matter is being handled."
The registrar should keep the register of political parties.
The notice by the registrar notes any person with written submissions concerning the intended change by the political party shall within 7 days from the date herein deposit them with the registrar. The DP's tweet was followed by a letter noting that the National Executive Committee had never been reconstituted and neither had the NEC convened to constitute or reconstitute the National Management Committee. NTV can now confirm over 100 MPs have written or intend to write individual letters to the registrar, echoing DP Ruto's remarks. However, in a telephone interview with NTV, the party's Secretary General Raphael Tuju notes the changes were effected after a number of officials landed jobs in government. He further notes the letter to make the changes was written on 23rd March. A noise around the reply by the registrar is unwarranted. Curiously, the party's vice chairperson David Murathe's resignation was never accepted by the party leader President Uhuru Kenyatta. It emerges he still holds the position and has been working behind the curtains.
Uhuru hatawachia mwizi hii kiti.
Murathe confirmed the information to NTV, saying he had never received a notification on his resignation letter and thus remained the bona fide vice chair. According to Murathe, all interim officials as are now were named by the party leader. He wonders why is it they are comfortable with interim officials but complain about the changes.
Tuko tayari kwa uchaguzi. Tuko tayari serikali ivunjwe. Tuko tayari kwenda kwa debe. We enjoy 80% of the support of Kenyans. Wakimwaga ugali tunamwaga kitoweo.
Further, Murathe accuses Gatondo South MP Moses Kuria of being part of a scheme to cause the chaos being witnessed. He said, and we quote, "People like Moses Kuria formed their own party, that is the Transformational National Alliance. He has no business commenting on Jubilee issues. He calls on him to make up his mind on what direction he intends to take." The current intrigues may just play into breaking the last link that has bound the Jubilee party, as sources within the party note that the new move is aimed at pushing the Ruto team out of Jubilee as quote-unquote chama iko na wenyewe. Kennedy Mureithi, NTV.
Arthur Mandela, popularly known as Xtian Ndela, is being sued by people who felt aggrieved with explicit videos he shared on his Instagram page. Anthony Wahome Kamunyi, Marusi King, and Francis Karanja are taking legal action for what they term as promotion of obscene material online. They claim that on the 6th of April 2020, Xtian, through his Instagram page, broadcasted naked women under the Club COVID hashtag, which they claimed they were using to raise funds to pay the entertainers, the aggrieved parties say. Xtian's online activities, they say that Xtian's online activities is exposing teens who have access to his page. They quoted Section 38 of the Cybercrimes Act 2018 for distribution of obscene material and Section 181E of the Penal Code for publicly exhibiting an indecent show or performance tending to corrupt morals. Time for another break, but that will lead us to the sports news.
When you're facing stubborn stains, you're always in a fierce fight. Clean Soft kicks out stains, Kibateki.
Send M-Pesa up to 1,000 Kenya shillings for free. Avoid contact with paper cash. Safaricom is for you.
For a better tomorrow, don't forget to do the 1, 2, 3 with Colgate every night.
Breastfeeding ruins the shape of your breasts. This myth is false. Feeding your baby at night makes breastfeeding easier. Yes, this is true. Small breasts can't produce enough milk. This myth is false.
Kiss Kids diapers. Kiss Kids. No rashes. Kiss Kids. No rashes. Bye-bye rashes. Buy diapers. Choose Kiss Kids.
This is Mo Spice. Entertainment. Let's talk. More music.
Hey yo, wagwan my jam down family mazee. I miss you so much. Hope you're keeping safe. Hope you're sanitizing mazee. Nikona good news. This coming Saturday will be live from Facebook and Instagram. And of course, your favorite TV, NTV, reggae, roots and dancehall music alongside my co-host Miss Katiwa herself.
We'll be giving you a great show, a double threat show, a triple threat show, everything that you, man, kitu yote unaweza imagine. The only thing that you need to do is stay tuned and make sure you follow our pages
from 10 p.m. up until midnight.
Peace out.
Experience the convenience of owning your property at the comfort of your phone. Download My Optiven app on Google Play Store or App Store. Call 0740 400 400. Optiven, the pace setters in real estate. Simple and convenient.
Welcome back. Time now for the sports news. And apart from the athletes who've lost their livelihoods as a result of race cancellations due to COVID-19, the various athletics managers and training camps which handle the athletes are also counting losses. Steve Keter with that report.
An athlete management team ensures that all logistical matters pertaining the athlete's career are sorted out so that the athlete can focus on the core business of running. Notable management teams with the Kenyan athletics legends in their books include the likes of Global Sports Communication as well as Volare Sports.
From the earning, of course, the manager in agreements according to the terms of contract do deduct 15% of the athlete's earning. The so-called 15% is defray the cost of the coaching staff, the food that they are taking there.
Chogi, who's the champion? The global coronavirus pandemic has hit the sporting world hard, and according to Joseph Ngure, a head coach at the Naivasha-based Run Together Sports Management, the timing could not have been worse.
We are really facing a very difficult situation. It came at the time when we were nearing the beginning of the first sessions of the year in our calendar, and all the camps were overflowing with the athletes.
With most races cancelled, there is no return on investment, and with athletics camps now closed, athlete support personnel have also been left jobless.
These things happen just a week after over 20 athletes had already acquired visa. The visa is costly because it is about 13,000 per individual. The races that were supposed to run was to start sometime end of February. You can imagine what it means for this manager who has already paid for the visas of the athletes.
According to Barnabas Korir, Athletics Kenya chairman for youth development, the coronavirus pandemic will have a huge financial implication on the pockets of Kenyan athletes. Korir asserts that a 5 billion shillings loss in earnings from appearance fees, prize money, and other endorsements but outside athlete annual contracts is expected. Eldoret is the city of champions. This town runs on the back of athletic success, with the money earned plowed back as investments. So the loss of revenue in the athletics ecosystem will hit hard and will be felt by many residents. Steve Keter, NTV Sports.
Nice to meet you, Steve. Tekla Lorupe, a UN ambassador of sports and also the Olympic refugee team chief of mission, has sent out a passionate appeal to sports personalities in the country to join hands in fighting the war against COVID-19. Lorupe, who has lauded the efforts being made by government in combating the pandemic, has appealed to athletes to use their fame and influence to educate Kenyans on social distancing and also the importance of washing their hands regularly. The legendary athlete, who is a former marathon record holder and three-time world half-marathon champion, was set to lead the refugee team to the now postponed Tokyo 2020 Olympics.
So we as ambassadors also for the country as a sports people, let's stay vigilant, and also let's also advise our other people at home. There are people, they don't understand this is real. So us, we also have to help also the government that you know what, it is real, and let us be part of the people who are disciplined. Let's fight these things together. It's not about the Minister of Health to fight for us. It's not all about the president alone, but it's all of us that we can also, and I know that our champions of sports are the champion of this nation, the champion of sports are the champion of the world, and therefore we need to stand in one voice and wash our hands, as they have been telling us. It's a simple thing, but if we cannot make simple things to be simple, it's going to be very difficult for us.
FIFA President Gianni Infantino has said that it is not worth putting any human life at risk by restarting football leagues and competitions around the world amid the global coronavirus pandemic.
And as football has stopped all over the world, we are all facing financial issues at various levels, from the grassroots to the professional game. With this in mind, we are currently working together with you in assessing the financial impact in order to be able to prepare the right response. Dear friends, in concluding, health has to come first. But these exceptional circumstances can also be a time to look to the future and to see what lessons.
6 directors of Spanish La Liga champions Barcelona have quit in the latest turmoil within the club hierarchy that fans and players, including star Lionel Messi, are increasingly frustrated at. The board members' protest deepened chaos at the world's richest club by plunging revenues from the global coronavirus pandemic. Online controversy and protests in the last games before soccer was suspended. The departing directors criticized the club's handling handling of social media scandals and expressed doubts about the board's ability to handle implications of the pandemic, which has led to a 70% players' pay cut. They also asked President Josep Maria to call for snap presidential elections. That's it for NTV Weekend Edition, but you do not want to go anywhere because the trend continues with Amina. Hey Amina. And joining her this evening is Aziad Nasenya. If the name does not ring a bell, perhaps you'll remember her song on TikTok. Or is it a song or a rhyme? I don't know. On TikTok. And one of the lyrics to that was Okonkwo nikikupea mtajijazia hapo mwisho. All right, she's coming up next with Amina on the trend. My name is Burrows, and David Agondoa has been our sign language interpreter tonight. Enjoy the rest of viewing.
This is NTV.
I help women find independence by training them in fish farming. It's tough on my back, joints, and can cause headaches. Panadol Extra relieves multiple types of pain. If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
Watu wangu, coronavirus mazee imefika. Na hii kitu ni noma.
Why? Because coronavirus doesn't have a cure.
Haina tiba. So hakuna ati tunangojea msee atuletee dawa.